Now at 5, the point-in-time count looks to address homelessness in the 4 states.
Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer plans to step down at the end of the court's term in June. I'm Skylar Henry with more on the retirement and the roadmap for President Biden to fill the seat.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A study gets underway aimed at addressing the challenges of homelessness in the 4 states. This is KOAM News at 5. Every January, organizations aimed at helping the homeless go out and conduct a point-in-time count. The count is made up of sheltered and unsheltered people on a single night. Today, crews from Economic Security in Joplin went out to find people living without shelter to get information from them to be able to provide better resources in the future.
We use that information locally for planning to help leverage, local funding, private, state, and federal funding for programs that can help house people. And then just, the biggest reason is to go out and connect with people.
The count is broken up into 2 parts. A survey will go to all local shelters and transitional housing tonight. Also, teams are going out in Jasper and Newton counties to find people experiencing homelessness. Some patients face long wait times at hospital emergency rooms in Missouri. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services sent out a statement asking people not to go to hospital ERs to get tested for COVID-19. That was one of the topics of today's Freeman briefing.
The emergency department is our front door to the community, and wait times have gone up. There have been patients that might be stationed down there for 15, 18 hours. I've had a few patients down there, depending upon bed availability, that might still have a bed in the ER for a handful of days.
Mercy Hospital sent us a statement regarding COVID testing in the ER. Mercy officials say they've seen many people show up to the ER just for COVID testing. They agree with the Department of Health's statement that the ER is meant for true emergencies and the COVID testing is leading to long wait times. Mercy suggested people use their convenient care clinics for testing rather than the ER. Checking in with Doug Heddy. Kind of cool out there, Doug.
Yeah, another cold day for us today, and the clouds have been kind of thickening up as we have gone through the afternoon hours. And on the radar, you can see some light snow showers, but our lower levels of the atmosphere are super dry, so none of this is reaching the ground. In fact, you have to go to the west of Oklahoma City before any of this is reaching the ground. But all this moisture is going to head toward us as the atmosphere saturates a little bit. As we go through the evening into the overnight hours, we will most likely get some flurries in here, maybe a quick little burst of light snow. This is not really a big deal, but some light flurries kind of passing through as we go through the evening hours. You can see temperatures kind of hanging out in that 30 to 32 range. A lot of clouds sticking around as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So we're going to look more at this and what is to come. All coming up here in just a bit.
See you then. There's major news today from the U.S. Supreme Court, where one of the longest-serving members is expected to retire. Reporter Skylar Henry has the latest.
Justice Stephen Breyer, the oldest member of the Supreme Court, will retire at the end of the court's current term. At 83 years old, the liberal justice had been under pressure to step down to give President Biden his first opportunity to pick a successor. The president says the timing was left to Breyer to decide.
Every justice has the right and opportunity to decide what he or she is going to do and announce it on their own. There has been no announcement from Justice Breyer. Let him make whatever statement he's going to make, and I'll be happy to talk about it later.
Appointed by President Bill Clinton in 1994, Breyer is the second longest serving of the current justices, just behind Clarence Thomas, who joined in 1991. The court's current term runs until the end of June. President Biden is expected to name his pick for Justice Breyer's replacement in the next few weeks. During his campaign, he pledged to nominate a black woman.
The president has stated and reiterated his commitment to nominating a black woman to the Supreme Court and certainly stands by that.
As a liberal justice, Breyer's ruling supported abortion rights, healthcare access, and LGBT causes. But in the court's current 6-3 conservative majority, he has often found himself in dissent. Timing allows the president to fill the vacancy while Democrats hold a slim majority in the Senate, a margin that could slip away after the midterm elections. Skyler Henry, CBS News at the Supreme Court.
More on who President Biden could nominate to fill that Supreme Court vacancy tonight on the CBS Evening News at 5:30. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. has delivered its written response to Russia in an effort to ease tensions at the Ukraine border. But he made the U.S. position clear, rejecting Russia's demand that Ukraine be permanently barred from joining NATO. President Biden is warning Russian President Vladimir Putin he'll be personally sanctioned if he invades Ukraine. Moscow denies it plans to invade, even though there are 100,000 Russian troops at the border. The White House says it may soon deploy the 8,500 U.S. forces currently on alert because it takes time to get them into position. U.S. troops would not go beyond NATO's eastern flank. Still ahead, the cost of borrowing.
The Fed announces plans to raise interest rates soon to get a handle on inflation. I'm Naomi Ruckham on Wall Street with the possible economic fallout.
And next in Health Watch, the latest research concerning the COVID vaccine and fertility. Topping today's Health Watch, patients hospitalized with COVID-19 may need to be monitored months after being treated and released. According to a large study conducted in England, those patients are more than twice as likely to die or be readmitted to the hospital after their initial infection compared to the general population. Pregnant women are at an increased risk for severe COVID-19 illness, which is why it's recommended they receive the COVID vaccine. Some couples planning to get pregnant or already pregnant have had concerns about the vaccine. Danya Bacchus has more on the latest research providing reassurance that protecting themselves and their babies does not affect fertility.
Sarah Ekus was a mom to a 1-year-old when she got the COVID-19 vaccine last year. She was also newly pregnant with a baby conceived through IVF, but unfortunately had a late miscarriage. The 41-year-old was due for her booster when they decided to try again, so she got her shot before her egg transfer.
I wanted to make sure I was doing everything I could to keep the baby safe. And then again, if I could send, have those antibodies passed to the baby, that would be helpful as well.
Some people have concerns about getting vaccinated and conceiving now or later. New research is adding to the evidence the vaccine does not affect fertility.
There's a lot of anxiety that has occurred around vaccination, around COVID in general. So we need to manage the anxiety by giving people back control, and we do that with good old-fashioned information.
In one of the largest studies to date, Dr. Alan Copperman and researchers at Icahn Mount Sinai looked at patients going through IVF, vaccinated and unvaccinated.
We compared outcome, how many eggs, how many embryos, whether or not they got pregnant. And fortunately, we found no difference whether or not a patient was vaccinated or not, and whether or not she got pregnant.
Another study finds vaccination in either partner does not reduce fertility, but COVID-19 infection in men, especially severe disease, may temporarily reduce fertility.
The vaccine can prevent almost all cases of severe COVID, and we can prevent male infertility, and we could promote health and wellness for female fertility, all by giving the vaccine to reproductive age people.
Sarah runs an infertility support group.
I think having this research is going to be really important to reassure women going through treatments.
She's 14 weeks pregnant and due in July. Danya Bacchus, CBS News.
Previous studies have also found that the COVID-19 vaccine did not raise the risk of preterm birth or fetal growth problems. Fewer women are expected to die from ovarian cancer in the UK and EU this year, due mainly to long-term use of birth control pills. According to researchers in Italy, advances in diagnosis and treatments, as well as reduced use of hormone replacement therapy, are also contributing to the decline. And doctors at the University of Pittsburgh say they've developed a new way to treat a painful foot condition known as plantar fasciitis. The technique, tested on a very small group, involves injecting a patient's own fat into the sole of their foot to ultimately help them resume sports and other activities within months. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our Pet Vet on Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about what makes your dog limp.
Plus a few light little flurries and snow showers rolling through tonight. We'll check that out coming up. Well, it turned out to be another cold day for us today. We had some sunshine during the morning hours and then clouds kind of thickening up as we've gone through the afternoon hours. Temperatures kind of hovering into lower 30s, just kind of a raw, kind of nasty January day, kind of gloomy outside. And we do have some light little snow showers which are popping up on the radar, but majority of this is not even reaching the ground. The atmosphere in the lower levels extremely dry, so it would have to snow on top of us for several hours before any of this would reach the ground as we go through the evening hours. So all this not reaching the ground, you have to travel back toward the south and to the west. Once you get to about Oklahoma City, some of this snow is reaching the ground. They are getting some decent accumulations west of Oklahoma City. This moisture is going to head toward us as the atmosphere saturates through the evening hours. We may get some flurries, and that is just about it. Maybe a quick burst of light snow, so not too much from this little system. You can see a few flurries popping up as we go through the evening hours. Here's 10 p.m., some light little flurries, temperatures kind of hanging out right around freezing. Maybe a few snow showers after midnight once you get a little farther south along the Missouri and Arkansas border. And then after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just clouds sticking around. So if we had anything accumulate, and that is a huge if, we're talking about a dusting across the region. So not a big deal, but a few flurries flying for us tonight. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We're socked in with the clouds. Live shot, just kind of cloudy and dreary across the region. Temperatures, they're cold. We're sitting anywhere from 30 in Nevada to about 34 in Miami, 30 in Parsons, Pittsburgh, a hair cooler at about 29. In Joplin, we're looking at 7th and Rangeline sitting at 31, south winds 5 to 10. But look at that humidity, it's bone dry at 35%. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back upper 20s and then just kind of hang out near 30 degrees as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. All right, so here's this weak little wave passing through, another weak little wave which will give us a cold front on Friday. Besides that, nothing's going on. Over the next few days, we look pretty calm across the region. Now, we are going to have a lot of clouds, so as we go through the overnight hours tonight into tomorrow morning, a lot of clouds sticking around. I do think we'll get a little bit of sunshine as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures, they're going to be quite a bit warmer for us on Thursday. 29 to start, 42 by noon, high temp of 46. 46 is pretty good. Tomorrow night, cold front slips through, so we cool back down into lower 20s by Friday morning. Friday, not bad, may get a couple flurries again. Temperatures should warm right around 40 degrees as we go into the afternoon hours. We do warm up, lower 50s by Saturday, near 50 by Sunday, so most of the weekend looks pretty good. Here comes our next storm system. Showers start to develop by Tuesday, and then switching over to freezing rain, sleet, and snow by the time we head into Wednesday. So the pattern really picks up for us next week. But the next few days, not too bad. Flurries tonight, 46 tomorrow, 41 on Friday, 54 Saturday, 51 on Sunday. So the entire weekend looks good, near 60 by Monday, and then a drastic change next Tuesday into Wednesday.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we'll enjoy these temperatures while they're here.
Yeah, might as well.
Coming up, the prospect for higher interest rates and what it could mean for your family's budget. First, though, we honor a local World War II veteran. Ralph Emerson served as a radio operator with the U.S. Navy. Ralph Emerson Schaefer. His hometown, Iola, Kansas, and we are proud to salute Ralph Schaefer, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, U.S. stocks fell slightly after the Federal Reserve said it plans to raise interest rates soon. Reporter Naomi Ruckham has more on how a rate increase could affect everything from car loans to credit cards.
The Federal Reserve is set to begin raising interest rates for the first time in 3 years, likely beginning in March.
I think there's quite a bit of room to raise interest rates without threatening the labor market.
It comes as the Fed focuses on fighting the highest spike in inflation in decades and amid concerns about the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and supply chain backups.
It's a little bit of a good news and not so good news story. The good news is that a number of things are happening in the economy. Higher wages, kind of that wage growth is helping to drive consumption. Raising interest rates means everything from mortgage rates to credit card rates to auto loan rates are all going to go up.
Finance expert Christopher Wolf says it could take a year to get inflation under control.
It's just going to take a long time to put people in jobs, to move the goods from one place to another, and ultimately get them back, get the country back to a place where things appear more normal.
The Federal Reserve chairman said the economic outlook still remains highly uncertain, but the federal bank will remain nimble and attentive to risks.
We're prepared to use our tools to assure that higher inflation does not become entrenched.
We face some real challenges. We've got to get prices in check and for working people out there.
President Biden met with private sector CEOs at the White House Wednesday to discuss how his policy proposals could help grow the economy and bring down inflation. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Central Bank is also expected to wind down its bond buying program in March. That program has infused more cash into the economy over the course of the pandemic. A gloomy forecast from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, downgraded its global outlook. The monetary watchdog says it expects the global economy to grow just 4.4% this year. That's weaker than last year and lowered estimate for 2022. On the earnings front, AT&T is out with its quarterly report card and says it earned $5 billion in the fourth quarter. That beat expectations. AT&T was helped by streaming growth in its HBO Max unit and an increase in wireless subscribers. Meanwhile, can you hear me now? Verizon also delivered better than expected quarterly numbers. The communications juggernaut says it earned $4.74 billion in its fourth quarter, which was slightly higher than a year earlier. Verizon has been aggressively expanding its 5G footprint to stay at the forefront of consumer needs. Our Pet Vet on Call, up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, a reaction to the word that Supreme Court Justice Breyer is going to retire and what steps lie ahead. Then on KOAM News at 6, what researchers hope to learn from the point-in-time study in Joplin and how it could help the homeless. Plus, an Oklahoma hospital seeing an increase in the number of COVID patients, big increase. And the Cherokee Nation offers cash incentives to produce TV shows and movies in northeastern Oklahoma, specifically on tribal property. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Well, just like you and me, our pets sometimes get a little hitch in their get-along. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: my dog started limping when she woke up. She was fine the night before. We checked under her paw, but didn't see anything. What should we do?
Have it checked out. Depending on the breed, size, age of your dog, this could be something as simple as maybe a tendinitis from sleeping wrong to something as serious as bone cancer. Dogs don't whine and complain like we do. So this could have been something building up, and now it's gone over the hill and she can't fake it anymore. Take her to the vet. This could be a simple fix, or it could be something serious.
No, we invite questions from anyone. If you have one, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week from the Joplin Humane Society. This happy-looking dog is a Labrador Retriever mix, a female named Lila. The Humane Society says she's 1 to 2 years old, high energy, and comes and sits on command. And we don't know much about this gray cat other than it's a male domestic short hair named Wilbert. And a cute one at that. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Lila and Wilbert. And of course, you can name them whatever you want when you get them home.
Yep.
The weather kind of chilly out there still, Doug.
Yeah, it's cold. We're sitting into the lower 30s. We are going to have some light flurries later on tonight. Not a big deal. A little bit of sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. 46, a little bit cooler on Friday, but 50s return by the time we head into the weekend, near 60 on Monday. Then rain, snow, ice chances roll in by the middle of next week. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that over the next several days.
Yeah, big change. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.